Yesterday, I lived bewildered, in illusion, but now I am awake, flawless and serene, beyond the world. From my light, the body and the world arise. So all things are mine, or nothing is. Now I have given up the body and the world. I have a special gift. I see the infinite self. As a wave, seething and foaming, is only water, so all creation, streaming out of the self, is only the self. Two from one. This is the root of all suffering. Only perceive that I am one without two. Pure awareness, pure joy. And all the world is false. There is no other remedy. Through ignorance, I once imagined I was bound, but I am pure awareness. I live beyond all distinctions in unbroken meditation. So just to emphasize this one area that we're going to really focus on today, as a wave seething and foaming is only water. So all creation, streaming out of the self, is only the self. Mhm. So feel free to close your eyes and just get settled down. So today we're going to talk about this teaching, which proposes that everything that you see and know, that you call myself and the world and the universe, that you call my experience, all these things which seem to be so separate and limited and apart, all these are nothing other than the very self that we are seeking, the very self that I am. The sound of my voice, the thought in your mind, the feeling in your chest, the sensation of the body, the sights of mountains and streams and trees and rooms and people, are nothing other than the self that we are. Even the mind which asks, how is this possible, is nothing other than the self that I am. So, how to start integrating this in our experience? How to start recognizing this? What is the path to noticing this, realizing this, living this? Start just with noticing the sound of my voice, which appears and disappears, arises and subsides. The sound of my voice is nothing other than an appearance in awareness. This is just one sense perception. It is an appearance in awareness. Even another sense perception, the sights that you see, the grass and the sky, and the trees and the mountains, the buildings, the streets, the very room that you're sitting in, even the body that you see. This entire sense perception of sight and all of its objects are an appearance in awareness. Even the sensations that we call body become aware of the sensations right now. These sensations are nothing other than an appearance in awareness. Even the feelings that come and go. Happiness, excitement, anger, fear. All of these feelings are also nothing other than an appearance in awareness. Even the thoughts, which talk about the sensations, which talk about the feelings, which talk about the sense perceptions and the objects of those sense perceptions, the thoughts which give names to the sensations and the feelings and the sense perceptions and the objects of them. Even the thoughts are nothing other than an appearance in awareness. Even the thought you have of who you are, which consists of an image of your body, an image of your face, an idea of your story, an idea of your personality, thoughts about your preferences and dislikes, your dreams and fears. All of these are nothing other than thoughts, which are merely an appearance in awareness. Just like when you dream at night, the whole dream world is so real to you. You think that you are in the dream world, that you are the body in the dream world, that you are living in a real world of colors and shapes and forms and story. But the whole dream and everything in it is nothing other than appearance. It's just a mere appearance in awareness. You wake up and where has it gone? It was never really made up out of any substance. It is not really anywhere in particular. It would never really was. It just appeared to be. It has no reality apart from awareness. Be open to the possibility that everything you call myself and the world, myself and the universe, everything you can taste, touch, smell, feel, hear, see, sense, think, is that very same dreamlike appearance in awareness. The sound of my voice is entirely pervaded by the awareness in which it appears. The thought that is appearing is entirely pervaded by the awareness in which it appears. The sensation of your body, of the body, is made up of nothing other than the awareness in which it appears. There's only awareness here. There's no sound, there's no taste, there's no touch, there's no thought, there's no feeling, there's no sensation. There's no world, there's no person, there's no story. It's just awareness. There's no distance, there's no time, there's no objects. All these are only appearances made up of nothing other than awareness. You actually don't exist. You are not a person. You are the awareness, which is. There's no distance. Distance is only on the level of appearance, relevant only when talking about objects in the appearance. Awareness is all that is. The self is all that is. You are never not the self that is aware. You are never inside of thinking. You are never inside of personhood. That's only an appearance in awareness. The one who understands or doesn't understand is not an actual entity. It is just an appearance in awareness. What you take yourself to be is nothing other than an idea, which is just a thought appearing in awareness. Feel the freedom of this. Awareness never moves. It just is. Only things that appear in awareness move, change. Awareness is the one reality of all things. Awareness or being is the one reality of all things, of anything that is seen, heard, tasted, touched, smelled, felt, thought, sensed. Nothing can appear without awareness of it. Outside of awareness of it, it doesn't exist. If we wish to discover the essence of everything that we know and see, if we wish to discover the truth of things, then we have to move away from the separate, seemingly separate forms and the names and the labels and the stories to their essence, to their reality, which is awareness or being. Ashtavakra says, as a wave, seething and foaming is only water. So all creation streaming out of the self is only the self. All these forms, everything you taste, touch, smell, hear, perceive, think, feel, sense, are just waves made up of nothing other than water. The self is not over there. The self is these very words. The self is the very sensations. The self is the thoughts. The self is the appearances, but not the actual forms and the labels. Those are just the waves, the stuff out of which it is made, the awareness in which it appears. Two from one, This is the root of all suffering. You see? Taking the self to be forms, or forgetting the essence and just knowing only forms and shapes and labels, forgetting the one and only knowing the many. That is the root of suffering. Ashtavakra says, only perceive that I am one without two, pure awareness, pure joy, and all the world is false. There is no other remedy. There's no other remedy to suffering, to clarity, to wisdom, to understanding. Do you see how now the significance of why we continue to return to the awareness of things rather than just dwelling in things? How in self-inquiry meditation, the instruction is to keep stepping back to the noticing, the awareness, the witnessing, the knowing, rather than the object that is known. You already know. You already know that you are the self that knows. You already know that you are the self that is aware. But we take the self that is aware to be the shapes that are known. You are not the image you have of yourself. The person you take yourself to be is just like a little vehicle whose sole function is to be like a point of view from where living inside of the appearance in the dream world is possible. Just like when you dreamt at night and you needed a dream body to explore the dream universe. You need a reference point. You need a point of view in time and space inside of that dream from where to explore that universe. But you are not that point of view. You wake up and there is no point of view. That point of view is gone. It was never really real to begin with. The world that you were experiencing, along with the point of view from where you were experiencing that world, is gone. It was never real. It was made up of nothing other than the awareness of it. It has no reality. It has no existence. It's not stored somewhere. It's not now being stored in some box inside of your brain. You can cut open your brain. You won't find that dream that you had. So understanding requires us to see the one reality which pervades all forms, the knowing or awareness which pervades all things that are known. Even the mind, which is restless and wants to be free of this restlessness, is appearing in awareness, which is entirely still. You are not the mind which moves. You are the awareness which is perfectly still, undisturbed. You are not the sound. You are not the sight. You are not the taste. You are not the touch. You are not the smell. You are not the sensation. You are not the feeling. You're not the thought. Because all these are temporary appearances, forms in your awareness. But because they are made up of nothing other than the self, nothing other than what you are the sound, you are the taste, you are the touch, you are the feeling, you are the sensation, you are the thought, because there's no separation. It's all water. The waves are nothing other than the water out of which they are made. So we must stop running away from ourselves. How do we run away from ourselves? By constantly living only in labels, in stories. Currently, there's a hypnosis, and we have really taken on these limited viewpoints. And there's nothing wrong with that. You have to understand, like, that is what makes personal living possible, life as we know it possible. And there's such a beauty to that. The fact that we can, that like the self is experiencing itself as the wonder which is the world, as the miracle that is the universe. It's not a problem in and of itself. But the pain of this limited identification starts to dissolve this limited identification, as so it is designed. So this is our main practice, right? Rather than just being lost in things, in objects, in appearances, we are learning to see awareness. Previously, your awareness was taken for granted, and you were only just occupied with the world and the story and what you can achieve in the story and what you can avoid in the story, who you are as a person in the story. So we had no recognition of reality of things. We were only occupied with forms, the waves. Now we are waking up to the essence. Even when you go to work in the day and you feel, oh, I am not aware, you are experiencing nothing other than awareness. Even the busyness of your work, the argument with your partner, the restlessness of your mind are nothing other than awareness. You are never away from yourself. You are always the self that is aware. And all the things you experience are nothing other than the awareness out of which they are made. This is wonderfully good news. So this is a teaching I would like you to explore to whatever extent you feel like it, to whatever extent you wish to inside of your practice. Not just sit down practice, but anytime you remember. This is the secret to fearlessness, non-resistance, acceptance. The awareness that you are has no notion of division or avoidance. It has no notion of resistance, fighting. It is simply pure awareness, pure allowance of all that temporarily appears and disappears. This whole process of creation and destruction, dissolution. This is the discernment between true and false. Where others see only forms, where others see many, you have to start to begin to see the one. Where others see forms, you have to begin to start to see awareness. The more you see it, the more obvious it becomes. And notice how like this gives us a total lightheartedness about whatever story is playing here. Because the story that is playing here with the person for whom it's playing is just, again, it's just an appearance. It's not my true self. I need not be so concerned at every step about the welfare of this one. Even when, we make a problem out of the spiritual practice, it is only on behalf of the self-image. We want this person to realize something and become some sort of enlightened thing that gets a lot of praise and never has a problem. These are such silly ideas. Just be the self that you are. Be yourself. So Ashtavakra says, through ignorance, I once imagined I was bound, but I am pure awareness. I live beyond all distinctions in unbroken meditation. He doesn't say I was bound and now I am free. He says, through ignorance, I once imagined I was bound. Just like when you dream at night, you imagine that you are bound in that world, but it's not true. You were never in that world. It was only an appearance. It's quite subtle to grasp in the beginning. And I spent a lot of time tussling with this too, but you really start to see the simplicity of it as you contemplate it. What that word means, appearance. It only appears, it never is. It never actually existed. It only appears to have existed. Bring that to your contemplation. So lastly, he says, yesterday I lived bewildered in illusion, but now I am awake, flawless and serene, beyond the world. He doesn't mean beyond the world in some other side of this, in some other dimension. He's speaking about this right here. But no longer is the focus just on forms. How can the forms ever be flawless and serene and perfect? They're always this or that. They are subject to time and distance and space. See what he's speaking about. Beyond the world is not somewhere on the other side of the world. It is the essence of the world. It is that in which the world appears momentarily. So this is really, just to conclude today's talk, this is the essence of self-inquiry meditation. Rather than what you see, you notice the awareness of it. You notice the fact that you you are seeing, the fact that you are aware. This, little by little, starts to bring you away from just names and forms and shapes and differences to the essence out of which they appear, the self out of which they are made. They cleanse the mind of, this practice cleanses the mind of all misunderstanding, all delusion. With that said, self-inquiry meditation is a very important component of this. If you want to build your practice and you want to do it correctly and you want to bring depth to your practice, I have a few resources for you that will really help you out. Number one is my self-inquiry guide. It is a PDF document that you can download for absolutely free. It will walk you through exactly how to practice and bring depth to your understanding. So I'll leave the link down below in the description for that. And number two is my self-inquiry mini course, which is available inside of my support group. Again, it's completely for free. All you have to do is join the group and you get access to it inside of our classroom tab. Over there in the community, you can also engage and interact with our community of people who are from all around the world practicing these same teachings. So it's really helpful. Now, lastly, if you are looking for more support from me and you want more of a structured approach to this practice and really bringing your conceptual understanding into experience, then learn more about my School of Awakening, which is a day-by-day meditation program. It really helps you deepen your practice and dissolve mind identification. It comes with way more support, and so that you always feel connected and supported throughout your journey. It really helps to dissolve all unnecessary complexity that the mind creates with this practice. So if that resonates, I'll link that down below as well. You can check it out. Now, if you've made it this far in the video, just let me know by commenting below. I always like to see who watches till the very end. But I really hope that today's video helped you. Please continue to practice all these things very intensely, yet lightheartedly. Thank you again. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.